Touchdown, Giants. Manning back, throws toward the end zone, and it is reached up and caught for by Odell for the touchdown. Odell's got it on the run, breaks free across the 40, 10, 5, touchdown, Giants. Deflected and intercepted by Landon Collins. Cuts back left, now reversing to the near side. Runs out of a tackle at the 30, weaving his way to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown.
We're talking New York Giants. They signed a 6-time Pro Bowl receiver in Brandon Marshall to a 2-year deal worth $12 million after he was released by the Jets. He joins a receiving corps that boasts, of course, 3-time Pro Bowler Odell Beckham Jr. More on him coming up. New York re-signed JPP to a 4-year, $62 million contract, $40 million guaranteed. He finished with 7 sacks last season as the Giants' defense held opposing quarterbacks to the lowest total QBR in the NFL. And the Giants drafted tight end Evan Ingram out of Ole Miss with the 23rd overall pick. New York also selects Cal quarterback Davis Webb in the 3rd round as a potential successor to Eli Manning. And now we're joined by ESPN reporter Jordan Raanan live in East Rutherford, New Jersey from the Giants OTAs. So Odell Beckham Jr. still not participating in voluntary workouts. How concerned is the team about this?
Yeah, voluntary. Key word right there. But, you talk to a bunch of people here and you realize, okay, around the league, a lot of guys don't show up. But with Odell Beckham, it's a little different. There's a background to it. So I would say the word I would use after talking to a bunch of people here is the Giants are a little annoyed with the situation, but they have to be very careful with it. You can't really complain because A, it's voluntary, and the players, this is what they won in the last CBA. And 2, you look around, look in the NFC East alone. Jason Peters with the Eagles. Fletcher Cox wasn't there for a bit. With the Redskins, you have Trent Williams, Jordan Reed. With the Giants, Olivier Vernon, their star defensive end, he hasn't been here. Jason Pierre-Paul, he hasn't been here for some days this week. Jonathan Casillas, he's attending to his daughter's kindergarten graduation today. So people have other stuff to attend to. And if you really pinpoint Odell Beckham, then you have to say stuff about other people as well. And you can't do that, especially with the CBA the way it is now. And I spoke to a bunch of executives around the league, and what they told me was, look, as long as guys are out there working out with their star players, it doesn't really matter so much. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't bother them much. So with Odell, he's out in California working with his trainer. And that's a key thing in this situation here when you're talking about Beckham is he's been with his trainer now, Jamal Ligon, for several years. I believe it's around 3 years. It's someone who knows the mechanics of his body well, and they believe that they can get the optimal performance if he works out with him. So the fact that he's there, working out consistently, almost every day, maybe even every day, it makes the situation a little easier to stomach for everyone involved.
All right, got it. You paint a very complete picture there, Jordan Raanan. We appreciate it. Thank you. Live from Giants facility. And Dan Graziano is with us. Do you concur with what you just heard? Based on people that you've talked to, how are they viewing this situation?
Yeah, Jordan used the same word I was going to use. I think annoyed is the right answer. Coaches get annoyed when the team's not there. And I think the key thing to understand is what he was talking about. They can't say anything publicly, and that's part of the annoyance, right? You'd love to be able to say, pressure the guy to come in, but you can't because it's voluntary. And Jordan makes a great point about all the other guys that aren't there and the reasons they might not be. So this only becomes an issue if he doesn't show up for the mandatory minicamp, which is the week after next, or parts of training camp. There's no indication that he plans to do that. There's not a contract holdout situation or anything like that in place that we know of. And this is a player, when you talk to Giants coaches and Giants teammates, they all talk about his work ethic, how well he prepares, how great he is in meetings and practices. Until that starts to slack off during the training camp and end season, then there's really no cause for concern.
I mean, let's face it, everything he does